So what? There we go. Is that what's happening? I feel like I'm just like never centered. When I do these videos on Facebook, they're like centered and fine, but this one's always weird. What is happening? Good. Now we got the shadow. All right, this is fine. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Full Blast. So this is a concept that I was very reluctant to adopt. It's super real, guys. I'm telling you, like, this is it. This is, if you want to start making moves in your life, this is the thing to do, right? If you feel stuck, if you feel like you can't do anything, whatever, this is it. This is the thing. So the guy, I really wish I knew how to pronounce his name. I think it's Marcus Lemonis. Lemonis just sounds, that's a weird last name. I'm going to guess it's Lemonis. If it is Lemonis, I apologize for calling your name weird. But it just sounds like Marcus Lululemonis, right? That, I don't know. It's not jiving with me. In any case, so he is where, as far as I can tell, that's where David Shan picked up this 3 things a day thing. And so there's clips of it floating around on the YouTube channel and on, just YouTube in general. And so what they're talking about, or what he's talking about, is every night what he does is he writes down 3 things that he wants to accomplish the next day, right? And he's very specific about them. And I think that this is the key component that I was missing, that I didn't totally understand and was able to harness. And once I was like, oh, that's what you're doing? Great, got it. And I was like, I get it. I get how you do the thing. This is just like this other thing. Woo, and I. That's what I did in my head. But the way that he talks about it is he says, the 3 things that I write down for every next day, they're just housekeeping. They're just housekeeping things. And there's always, whether there's 1 million of them, 4 of them, whatever. He's like, I'm just writing down 3. What are the 3 most important things? Kind of in the sense of, if I do nothing else today, if today is just a total fuck off day, if I do, what are the 3 things, the 3 most important chores or housekeeping businessy things that need to happen, right? And he goes even further and he's like, and I try to get those done by noon, because once we get past noon, then, who knows what the day is going to throw at me. I'm going to have to talk to somebody. I have to deal with something. Somebody's going to call. They're going to be mad. And so the way that Dave and Shan were talking about this is they were using it as, I think it was in the EJIP single decider strengths video. That's where I think it was. Because he was talking about, they were using this example of him as, he's an example of a really good example of a double observer, right? Someone's got their OE and their OI, right? Whether it's their N or their S, whatever combination, in the middle. So they're not overcorrecting and getting super, super stuck on the observations, right? Whether it's the patterns or the details, they can zoom in, right? They can see, like, yeah, the forest, the trees, whatever, I can zoom in and out. Like, I'm flexible enough there that I don't need to worry necessarily overly much, right, about, getting stuck, right? I can go back and forth. And the way that he talks about it is they use that as an example of, this is a guy who's very balanced on his observers. He's like, I do a little bit of control, I deal with a little bit of chaos. I plan for chaos. It's not a big deal. I know how to work around it. I'm not trying to over control or overthrow myself into the chaos. It's whatever. It's happening. We're doing the things. And I was like, okay, well, clearly, if this guy is doing double observing, which is the thing I need to do, and this is a very concrete way that he double observes, well, shit, I guess I gotta start doing it. So begrudgingly, I did. I have gotten more shit done this week than I have in the past, what feels like months. Now, again, part of that is pandemic, fine. But like, I think about all of the times in the past when shit would just pile up and I'd be like, well, fuck, I can't do anything. And this, like, so I'm going to read to you the things that I've done so far this week. So I started this on, today is Thursday. So I started this actually on Sunday night going into Monday, right? So I started making the list on Sunday night. These are the things that I have done. These are the tasks, the chores that I've accomplished. Unload dishwasher, buy groceries, take out trash. That was the one day. Then load dishwasher, cook Brussels sprouts. And then it was steam clean the couch. I got a steam cleaner, didn't work. So I had to just like vacuum the couch to try to make it look a little nicer. I was like, I got to do something on the couch. I got to make it look a little bit less shitty because I sit in it all day. And then the next day, one of the things, I have to go to Target to take back the steamer and the cleaner. I had to bake some chicken. And then I had to take a jacket to the dry cleaners. And I ended up throwing in an extra one. I do my budget by hand where I sort of, obviously I do it all, I see it all digitally, but I keep a separate analog budget just so that I can physically write out the like, all right, this is the money that we are spending and here's where we are in the month and this and that, right? I started doing that at the beginning of the year and it's been very, very helpful. You know, because I'm not a tech guy. Again, it's too visual. I need the kinesthetic to like write down the thing, right? Just seeing the visual it does nothing for me. It does not register. It's a lot more work. And then this morning, today, I have a new, I'm coming up on the 1 year anniversary, or actually I passed it, but the way the lease term happened, I had to sign the lease, you know, for the new year on my apartment. I had to take some recycling down to the recycle bin in the basement of my building. And then I had to run the dishwasher, right? Because I was starting to get some things. So I bring up all of these because doing them has made me feel just out of this world productive, right? All of these things, they're like stupid little things. That is the point. That is the point. Where I would always get fucked up is I wouldn't make the goals small enough. It would always be like, they would just be bad goals, right? According to like the SMART, right? Specific, measurable, accountable, and then R&T, time specific, and I don't know if it's repeatable. I don't know. I don't know what the R is, but there's whatever, right? Really what you need is the specific, measurable, and actionable, right? Those are the three, and time sensitive. And so the goals that I would set before were like, tomorrow my goal is to clean the apartment. What does that mean? What does clean the apartment mean? Does that mean, take out the trash and lightly vacuum? Does it mean disinfect the countertops and take out the trash and vacuum? Does it mean clean the bathroom? Does it mean clean out the refrigerator? Like, what does clean the apartment actually mean? Does it mean put away the little bottle of hand sanitizer that's next to my, computer? Does it mean, tidy up? Like, what does clean the apartment mean? And just, I wouldn't clean it well. Sometimes it would get done. Sometimes I'd go way longer than was even remotely appropriate when it comes to like how often one should clean and disinfect and like not live in filth stuff. Again, part of that is pandemic. I'm being nice to myself a little bit, right? But like now that we're getting into September, we're doing the thing. But I put these dumb little goals on there, and crucially, here's the thing: almost all of the things on this list are gonna be things that I'm gonna have to do again. That I, whether it's I need to do the second half of it, right? So I take Jack to dry cleaners on Friday, August 28th. One of the things on my list that day is going to be pick up jacket from dry cleaners. That counts as a thing, right? Because I have to go out, I have to go do it, come back, do a thing, right? But things like bake chicken, cook Brussels sprouts, take out trash, buy groceries, unload dishwasher, load dishwasher, take out recycle. These are just my dailies. These are all the repeatable quests that I have to do on any given day, right? And I very, very specifically use that video game term because that's where I got that's what I was able to sort of marry together. Is I was like, oh, right. And again, so in the video games, right, in the RPGs, right, the MMOs, they call those things dailies, or right. So that's what they are colloquially known as, but officially, they are known as repeatable quests, meaning it is a quest that you can do every day, right? It resets and you can redo it again, right? It's very cool. It's very cool. And I was like, oh, these are just my dailies, right? Whether we call them chores, whether we call them this or that, they're just three. And again, you don't do a million chores. That's not the goal. You do a couple chores every day. You slowly level up. It's fine. We're fine. And so I look at this and I'm like, yeah, by writing down just like a dumb thing that I have to do and hold myself accountable to, shit just gets done. And crucially, again, because I'm blast play over here, I'll get that. I got my 3 chores done this morning by 7:15. Like by 7:15. Like I was done with the day at 7:15. And as I spoke about in the sleep last video, I have to force myself to not add shit to the list. Now here's the thing. Does that mean that great, I did my 3 chores by 7:15. Guess I can just fuck off for the rest of the day and do nothing? No. First off, I just wouldn't, because that's not who I am, like, as a person. Like, I would get just uncomfortable doing that. Like, I'm always going to be just chipping away at stuff. But it's let me be more productive on an unofficial level as well, because I'll be like the other day, like I did the 3 things and I was like, you know what? I have a little time and a little energy. I'm in that like sort of a weird spot between dinner is done, but I don't quite feel like settling in to watch TV. You know what? Let me just knock out this budget thing real quick. Let me just, it'll take me 15 minutes. Boom, do it, done. I'm caught up. I'm reset. We're good. And even, so yesterday, or how about today, right? So my things were sign lease, take down recycling, and run dishwasher, right? Those are the 3 things. So I did those 3 things. And then, I did like an improv. It was a class, really. It was like a coaching session with a buddy of mine, because he's doing an audition, got some people together to do the thing. Right, so we did like an hour and a half of improv coaching. It was great, super fun. If I wanted to put that as a thing on my list, I could. On Tuesday was rough, right? Because Tuesday is when I have my actual long improv class. It's really a sketch class more than an improv class, but it's 3.5 hours. It is from 11 to 2:30. And just doing the thing, right? But the way that I had scheduled it, like I had load dishwasher, cook Brussels sprouts, and then do the steam cleaning of the couch, which turned into just vacuuming. I was like, nope, those are the 3 things, right? So maybe on Tuesdays when I know that I have like a big 3-hour chunk of a thing, I think I might just need to make that an activity because it's so time consuming, right? Or be conscious of that and not put, if it's like cook Brussels sprouts is fine because that can be happening while I'm doing other things, right? Load the dishwasher, that doesn't take too long. But like a cleaning thing, okay, maybe that's not a great task for a day when I know I have another big thing that I have to do, right? Again, slowly refining, slowly getting better, figuring out my own process. You should figure out your own process as well. But crucially, like keep the tasks tiny, like tiny. And here's sort of like the real underlying psychology behind it that once this clicked, I was like, oh, got it. Here's where I'm fucking everything up. Cool. So I lived a very hectic, fast-paced life in New York City. I was doing auditions all the time. I was tutoring. And the 2 things that I did to like sustain myself emotionally, financially, whatever, were both very, very fragile in a lot of ways. Acting is just a fragile industry, right? Again, I knew this when I signed up for it. That's fine. But the problem is that the tutoring was always very fragile and became increasingly more fragile because, we were in startup mode again and people were getting fired left and right and policies would change and, there just wasn't, we weren't balancing the human needs, right? We weren't getting the certainty. I wasn't having certainty and uncertainty. It was just pure uncertainty, right? So that's no good. But where I realized like the ways in which I adapted to that and where like I got really weird about it was I treated every day, right? It was it's like the Dread Pirate Roberts story from The Princess Bride, right? Where Wesley's like, I got captured by the Dread Pirate Roberts, and he hired me, and so I did work, and he said, "Good work, Wesley. I'll most likely kill you in the morning." But then he said, then I woke up, and he didn't kill me, so I did more work. He says, "Good work, Wesley. I'll most likely kill you in the morning," and that went on and on and on until they became friends, and then he took over the mantle of Dread Pirate Roberts, and that's sort of how I felt, right? Was every day at the end of any given day, my boss could decide, you know what, this just isn't working out. Here's your severance pay, goodbye. Right? Or if I'm working with a student on something, they could decide at any moment, you know what, this isn't working out. We want to go with a different tutor. Right? And so that's a really hard way to live when that pattern is your whole life, right? When that is the thing that is driving everything, right? When you only have this feeling of like, all right, I got to crush it every day or else I'm cut. That is fantastic as a component of your life. When there is when part of your life is that, oh my God, that's amazing. That's incredible. But if you don't have the balance of certainty, right? Just going back to human needs, this isn't even like IJ Raja talking. This is like, teenage IP Raja talking, being like, yeah, no, you do actually need some amount of certainty and some amount of uncertainty and to be able to flow between them, right? So again, in thinking about these tasks and why they're so important, and why I was so reluctant to do them, is because I hadn't built the mental muscle that I get to come back to work tomorrow. Right? Okay. So let's unpack this for a second, because I think it is something that our society takes for granted, but I know a lot of people take for granted, that there is only this extreme of like any like that is either impossible to get fired or nothing you can do could ever keep you from feeling certain that you won't get fired at any given moment, right? That those are the two extremes that I found myself living on. And that's not a way to live, right? What you're looking for in the middle is this feeling of, yeah, as long as I do well enough, I'm not going to get fired. I just need to do well enough. I can't do nothing. I can't fuck off every day. But not every day has to be a world beater day, right? I don't have to constantly be like trying to compete with myself and be the best PR whatever that I can be. That's not every day. No, that's not how this works. It just isn't. What we're doing is we need a system where it's like, you know what? This was good enough. You absolutely get a check mark for the day on that one. And then you move on to the next task. And then you're just going through your day. So I talk about like, I spoke about this on one of my other videos on my personal channel. And, you know, I think about the people I know, and there are not very few, like there are quite a few people for whom this is true that I know personally. Whether they work in a small business or a big corporate office or a branch of a corporate, like whatever, they're like they're not living the freelance life. Like they have a structured work of this, of, you know, doing the thing. And a lot of their day is so much, and again, a lot of this, I think my biggest struggle is the fact that I am info dominant, not just sleep last, but specifically info dominant, that like managing and preserving energy in a nice balance is really hard for me. And it's something that I'm working on. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm trying to be more conscious of it, but it's tough. It's really tough. But in any case, what they'll do, the way that I hear them sort of talk about their job and their life, and they talk about this like this is nothing, like this is everybody, but they're like, I'll get to work at 9, and then you sort of settle in and you see what emails there are, and you're like, all right, I got about 50 emails that I got to get through today, and but you know what? Before I settle in, let me put my stuff down. Let me go get a cup of coffee. Man, somebody didn't refill the cup. Well, all right, I guess I'm the one to make a new pot of coffee. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Let me scoop out the things. Let me just, make the coffee. That'll take, 7 or 8 minutes. Have some conversations. Check the sports. See the, who won, whatever. Oh, look, the coffee's done. I'm gonna pour the coffee. Then, oh, hey, Bob, did that attachment go through? I was having some problems with the attachment. Were you able to get it? And Bob's like, listen, man, I just got here. My boss is already kicking my ass. Talk to me at like 1 o'clock. I'll be able to talk to you about that. It's all good, Bob. No worries. Yeah, I just want to make sure that you got it whenever you need it. If you need me to ship that over to you, just let me know and I'll do it. Great. Then you go back to your desk, and now it's probably like, 9:15, 9:20, and you settle in, you're having your coffee, and you're starting to go through the emails, go through number 50 and then work your way up, and, you're deleting, going through and doing the things. And that's just your day. That's just your day. And then you go into a meeting, and then you do the things, and then you come back out of the meeting, and then, oh, some more emails came in. Oh, okay, well, this one is urgent. Okay, this one I actually have to take care of. This one does take precedence. This is a high urgency one. So then you take care of that email, you put out the fire really quickly, and now it's 4:30, and you're like, okay, yeah, I've got about another hour left. You still have like 30 emails in your inbox, and you only have an hour left to work. Here's the trick. You're got to be like, you know what? I'm going to get through what I get through. There are some people who just emailed me. They're just not going to hear from me until tomorrow. That's just reality. They're just going to have to deal with that. And then the next day, I'm going to get in, and those are going to be the first emails that I answer. And we're just moving along. We're just doing the thing, right? And I think about that workflow and how I'm like, there's something to that. There's something to it. I was always deeply uncomfortable anytime I left the office and I hadn't responded to every email in my inbox that got there before 5:30, right? So 5:30 was quitting time. And then, I had to answer all the emails, right? But that's not how this works, right? That's not a healthy way to live. And that's sort of why I try to jump into a sales position, because I assumed that that's how life worked. And I was like, listen, if this is how life works, I better be getting fucking banked for it. And sort of where there was, again, it's so clear like where all the friction was coming from. With me leaving early, we were just operating on fundamentally different premises of what work was. That was the issue. Was like, what do you think a job is, Raja? And I was like, well, a job is where you show up and you do the tasks that are asked of you, and then you go away because the tasks that you have been responsible for have been completed. Right? But no, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about a job is a place you go all day. That's it. And you go, you get some coffee, you make some friends, you talk to some people, do a couple of business deals. Sometimes you have a phone call, right? It's very much, I know that The Office, the show, is fictitious, but that's the energy, right? I don't think it is an accident that John Krasinski is a energy dominant INTJ, and why he is so that is like an iconic fucking role. And he embodies that energy so goddamn well, because that's what it is, right? It's about being organized and systematic, being able to expend energy, being able to preserve energy, being comfortable, dealing with the tribe, dealing with yourself, seeing the bigger picture, just getting through the day to day, right? And so to bring it back to these three things, in order to do this three things thing well, correctly, whatever, you have to be willing to leave things undone. Okay? I believe it is the Nicene Creed that has that. Nicene Creed. Profession of faith. No, I want the Catholic one. Statement of faith. Where's the? Here we go. what we have left. Oh, okay. So never mind. Sorry. See, this is how you know it's been a little while that that I've been to church. This is the prayer of confession. The prayer of confession. God, my goodness. My apologies. Right? So this is the prayer of confession in the Book of the Common Prayer in the Anglican Church. Most merciful God, we confess that we have sinned against you in thought, word, and deed, by what we have done and by what we have left undone. We have not loved you with our whole heart. We have not loved our neighbors as ourselves. We are truly sorry, and we humbly repent for the sake of your Son, Jesus Christ. Have mercy on us, etc., etc. But the part that I want to focus on is the by what we have left undone. And I never really understood that line and sort of what I think that they're trying to get at with that on like a spiritual level. And it's this understanding and embracing, Apostle Paul moment, whatever you want to call it, of, right, by virtue of the fact that I am a human having a human experience, it is impossible to have loved God with my whole heart, right? And to be able to have, thought, word, and deed perfection by what we have done and by what we have left undone. We can't get it all done. We just can't. That's not our job. Our job is not to get it all done. Oh, God damn it. Now I'm going to get for club because we're going to talk about a song. We're going to talk about a song that makes me feel feelings. But anyway, we have one day, right? So my job is to get these 3 things done. There's going to be a lot of shit that's getting left undone. It's okay. We'll get to it tomorrow. Right? We'll get to it tomorrow, and then more things. And then there's going to be 3 more things the day after that. And then there's going to be 3 more things the day after that. And then just when you have gone through all 12 of the things that need doing, oh, look, the thing that you did on the first day comes back. Cyclical, man. It's cyclical. And, in thinking about like my cohort of millennials, elder millennials, whatever you want to call us, I think that one of the reasons why people my age have such a tough time with that is that we were taught in school, get all of the work done, right? Once you get your work done, once you get your homework done, then you can go out and play. But you have to get all of your homework done before you can go out and play. You have to eat all of your vegetables before you can have any dessert. Right? So what ends up happening is in our mind, we just see that paradigm everywhere and it fucks us up. Because we're looking around at all of the shit that needs doing. And we believe erroneously that, that we are responsible for getting it all done. If there's still work to be done, then we don't get to have any fun. We don't get to go on vacation. We don't get to take a break. We don't get to have any dessert until all of the work is done. But that's not how it works. Our job is to do work and then not do work. And then do work and then not do work. Right? And we're going to leave some things undone. That is the point. Then we have something to look forward to tomorrow. It's like, oh, great. Tomorrow I'm going to work on this other thing. Right? And that's how you, over time, move forward. Now, I want to sort of tie it all up with this last chunk here. It's incredibly tempting to think of time as being linear. Very, very tempting. We don't really have cycles that much anymore. That just doesn't seem to be the foundation of internet culture. There isn't this idea of like, yeah, how about this fucking TV, right? My favorite thing in the world. TV shows, the whole season is just released at once, oftentimes. Hulu, to its credit, and again, one of the things I do actually really like about Hulu and the way that they do their original programming, they put out an episode a week. Same with HBO. I think Showtime does as well. But they're like, no, we're not doing the binge thing. That's not how we want to tell our story. If we're telling a serialized story, we need to tell it once a week. I mean, I remember in 2004 when Lost came out, the reason it was such a phenomenon was because of how it used real time. Same with Friends, right? I mean, I didn't know a ton of people like this, but again, because I was a little young to like really be into Friends. Little young, not that young. But I mean, there are people who to this day, maybe not to this day, but definitely people when I was in my early 20s, they would have Thirsty Thursdays, girls' night, friends' night, and everybody would get together and they'd all watch, reruns of Friends, for 2 hours, and they'd have drinks and they'd socialize, they'd have a great time. They did that every week. That was their weekly ritual, right? It's certainly in college, for me, it was Grey's Anatomy. People going in and just every week they would all get together and watch Grey's Anatomy on the main, dorm TV in the common area, right? So like, and I feel like that is a component of our culture as a whole that's kind of gotten lost. And while I don't lament the actual sensory thing being lost, I do lament the idea that we can't live a cyclical life. I think that makes life really, really hard. If you are only trying to live a linear life, that is an impossible way to live. You cannot sustain that. You just can't. You have to have a thing like this. I say like this as I, blow out the camera. But like a list of things where it's like, these are the 3 things I'm doing today, with the understanding and acceptance and excitement about, okay, I get to do this same thing again 4 days from now. Oh my God, I love it. I'm super excited now, right? Because if you notice, in the last 4 days, right, starting on Monday, I unloaded the dishwasher. I have not unloaded the dishwasher yet, right? Since doing it 4 days ago. That's going to be on my list for tomorrow. Unload dishwasher. Great. We're doing it again, right? It just makes it easier to live when you have something cyclical and it's not this sort of steady forward grind, because that's where you get in, this like zero to perfect mindset. Sorry, my errant curl. I have an errant curl that just does not want to behave ever. And I've just accepted that. Like, it just does what it wants to do. Great. So, thinking about this zero to perfect mindset, right? So much of that is a result of believing that life is linear and not cyclical. And approaching life as though it is linear rather than imposing a cycle onto it, right? Because that's all this is. I am just imposing order onto the chaos of my day, right? Back when I was, this was in late March, early April, the pandemic hit. I was not in a good place. Like fucking everybody, we were like, what are we gonna do? I can't socialize. I just moved here. What the fuck is even anything, right? But like, what I had to learn to do and just impose a structure for myself was every day I was like, okay, I like walking. I'm allowed to go walking. That was it. Like, that was once I was able to tap into, okay, I'm allowed to go for walks, right? Again, this is even back in late March, early April when we were really taking this seriously. Then we got kind of fucked off with it and whatever. But like, that was always the thing. You're allowed to go for walks. The walks are going to be critical. Get out of the house, walk the dog. You're going to be spending a lot of time at home. You're not going to be socializing. But walks are great because you can stay 6 feet apart. You're not touching anything. You're good. I was like, all right, word. So every morning, I was like, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go for a walk. A couple of miles, nothing fancy. Again, I've since increased that. But for a while, I was like, it was really nothing fancy. We were talking like 4 miles. That's it. It was just, an hour and a half in the morning going for my walk. Sorry, some weird, what's happening with my camera? All right, anyway. All right, so that was sort of it. And then I added to that, okay, I go for my walk in the morning, and then I come home, and then I do my Animal Crossing chores, and then I just play Animal Crossing for a couple of hours. And then if something else, right, but that was it. That was all I had to do on any given day when I was not feeling good and not liking anything and the world is on fire. Okay, here's what I can do. I can get up, I can go for a walk, and I can do my Animal Crossing chores. And every 3 days in Animal Crossing, the fruit would grow back. And then I sell the bells and I do the turnip market every week. And it's a whole thing, right? There's a cycle to it. And it doesn't demand a lot of time or energy or effort or whatever. Just the thing that I'm doing. Just the thing that I'm doing. It's a little bit of structure and cyclicalness to the chaos that I observe in the world. And I think that, I think that certainly a lot of my cohort, especially like the intensely academic, rigorous, like high achiever cohort, so much of that and so much of the tension that I feel and why I ultimately had to like make a really strong break away from that culture and cohort and mindset is because everything was about the result and the destination, right? When it comes to, oh, there's injustice in the world, I have to correct it, right? We cannot breathe. We cannot breathe easy until everything is fixed. Okay. First off, that sounds hard. Second off, and again, where we really got fucked off is when we would start to do all this work, like, all right, Me Too. The Me Too movement happened. And we're like, all right, this is a big fucking deal. We got to deal with this. We got to fix some shit. We got to, call out the like legitimately terrible behavior of these entitled, powerful men who are sexually assaulting like lots and lots of people in a systemic and deliberate way. Like, we got to get rid of that shit. But what ended up happening is in doing so, we uncovered all of these other terrible things that are happening and being perpetuated. And we get really overwhelmed with it. And as we start work, right, so our impulse as the high achievers is to be like, you know what? We just got to double our efforts. We just got to work harder. And as soon as we do that, now we're fucked. Because now all we're looking at is the result. We're looking at our progress. We're trying to see how fast we can get there, which means that if we're not getting there fast enough, the impulse is first to blame other people for not pulling their weight, then realizing, no, I have to take responsibility. I just have to work harder. And then I go crazy, and then I burn out and I fuck off and I never do it again. And it became really, really unsustainable when it was like, it feels like the amount of problems that are increasing, like the problems are increasing faster than we can work to fix the already existing problems, which puts you in this mindset of, God, everything is getting worse and there's nothing I can do about it. No, absolutely not. Stop you right there. Not playing that game, never again. The game I'm interested in playing is, all right, I got 50 emails in my inbox. I'm going to get through as many of these emails as I can in a day, right? Starting from the bottom. I'm not even going to worry about the new shit. Let me just take care of this old shit, slowly work my way through it. If I only get 20, there are 50 emails in my inbox, right? Or I know I'm mixing metaphors, but I think the email analogy is easier. 50 emails in my inbox. If there are 50 emails in my inbox and I know that 25 are going to come in, my only goal is to get 25 emails done, right? So 50 emails in the inbox, I do 25 of them, 25 are from the day before, and then 25 are from today. Great, I have net evened. And then over time, that 25 is going to turn to 26. At 26, you're going to turn to 27. And look, maybe you have a banger day and you get 40 done. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Good for you. The goal is then not to go, wow, I got 40 done today and I got 30, and I have 25 new ones in. I only have 35 tomorrow. Great. If I stay at this world beater 40 day, then I'm going to get all of those done. And then the next day, there's only going to be 20 emails that come in that I have to do. Then if I stay at 40, then I get all of them. No, that's not how this works. If you have a world beater day, amazing. Just keep that in the bank. Because for every world beater day, you're also going to have a fuck off day. The two will cancel each other out. That's fine. That's how it goes. Your goal is just to get anywhere from 26 to 30 emails a day done. And do it right. Do them well. Not like no. Do it right. Be responsible. Take care. Do the thing. That's going to move you forward. And yeah, at the end of every day, you're gonna leave work every day with shit you haven't taken care of. That's just it. That's just how work works. But that's what's sustainable, right? That is what is sustainable. And to sort of, I know we're just to wrap it up here. I think about fictitious land where if I'm living with somebody, right? And there are chores that we have to do together in the house. And if that person insists on, we need to clean the entire house, top to bottom, every day, or else we can't go to bed, then that's just a relationship I need to not be in. Period. That's kind of what happened with me with just all of New York. Because I looked around and I was like, listen, can I get a little breathing room here? Is there some version of life where I can just, where it doesn't feel like I have to answer emails the second they come in, and where it's not like, all right, I got 40 emails, let me bang these out as fast as possible. No, it's not sustainable. And that's what ended up happening is that's what I was trying to move closer towards subconsciously, this more energy dominant way of living. But just everything around me was keeping me in a very old and stuck place. And I dug into it. Was just a mess. But I'm telling you, just do 3 things a day, man. That is going to build your muscle so fast. And it's going to give you so much goddamn perspective. Just so much perspective on, right. In the words of Scarlett O'Hara, tomorrow is another day. Right? Tomorrow's another day. I got some chores done today. Tomorrow I'm going to do some more chores. The next day, I'm going to do some more chores. Eventually, I'm going to have to repeat chores because that's how chores work. But if you can find that groove, you're going to eventually get really fast and efficient. You're going to find your own system for it, right? In a very TISI kind of way, which Lord knows I need more TISI energy in my life. My goodness. So like doing all that, now you're going to start to see your time really increase that you can put into doing work that really, really matters to you. And to move forward in life and to really start to build something. But starting with these 3 things, that will get you there. Period. It just will. And this is one practice that I was not expecting to be really into, but like the benefits are real. I cannot encourage it enough. So leave me a comment below. Let me know if you've been like using this 3-thing method. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.